Runaway Pancakes has asked a brilliant question. And the question is this: are leopard populations in the Kalahari as high or as dense as in the Kruger? Not even close. The leopard density here is way less than leopards in the Sabi Sands, for instance, where our colleagues are working in that Kruger area. And that's why we are so... She's going to stand on that big rock. Oh, my girlie. You are... All my cat dreams come true. Yeah, so the leopard density here is much lower. And their territories are really focused along these hills. I'm absolutely... I can't even begin to describe now what I feel like. It's a good day. Let's just leave it at that. It's a very good day. And thank you for your patience in watching. I know sometimes I go off on these like little weird tangents so we don't find anything, but I do really enjoy trying to focus on a thing every now and again, and it's just really... Good job, Davey. Takashi moves. It is... Look at that camouflage. Look at that camouflage. Pete Cantor has asked, is she nervous or habituated? This cat, if it's the one I'm thinking of, and I could be completely wrong, I've nicknamed her Wimbledon, or from many...
Coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
A warm welcome to all our viewers that are tuning in currently on this live safari. You'll have a look and see that we are currently watching a pride of lions. And right off to the right is a white male that's just yawning, and in front of him a young cub moving towards another white lion, which is a younger female. This one looks like it might be stalking a sister who's currently standing on top of a branch. So I just want to encourage all our viewers, come join us on this live safari here in the African bush. So just having a look at those young cubs, that one female just jumped over the log to going to have a play. Now, the one female, that young cub, was on top of that fallen log before the male came to try and catch it. And she just jumped off from there. So let's see if we can get her where she comes back. But I'm Nikki here at Ambion Ngala. I'm going to be a ranger for this afternoon. And with me on the camera is Gert. So we are experiencing a little bit of rain. So you might just see... now and again, we'll wipe the lens. If not, you also notice like it's quite hazy at the moment, and that's just because of all the rain. But often it's a nice time of the day, especially with young lion cubs. Now I just want to go back to those youngsters that were around the log, because I can see the one's ears actually pointing out. right there. You'll see the one. Oh, there we go. It's the young female that's trying to climb over to jump on top of probably the brother. This is just incredible to watch in the rain. You can see even that bigger lioness, she's still very young, less than 2 years old, but you can see she's still very playful. Now the one, so looking at those two cubs, you'll notice the one on the right is the young female, the one on the left is the young male. Now I would like to encourage all our viewers, please send in those questions if you have any questions, and I would love to try our absolute best to answer them. And if we don't know the answer, of course, we'll try and get back to you on it. Just notice how that big lioness just jumped over across to try and get to those little ones. But imagine how much fun it is having a fallen over log like that in order to maneuver around and just to play for the afternoon.
Good afternoon from what is nothing short of an absolutely spectacular afternoon out here at Tswalu Kalahari. I'd love to, for those of you who haven't met David, love to introduce our cameraman to you. He is doing an insanely good job at capturing all the things that we see in these vast, ancient landscapes. So David, good job there. Thank you, my man. My name's Dylan, and as always, it is such a pleasure having you with us. I don't know what we're going to find this afternoon, but we're just going to explore and ask questions, try to think out the box. What's the gestation period of a giraffe? We can look that up, but try ask things about the ecology or whatever you want. I don't care as long as it's about the outdoors. I'm super happy to field the question. This gorgeous octopus looking like plant that's standing right in front of me over here. It's probably a lot older than I might imagine, growing on the size of this thing. This is one of what we call a euphorbia. This particular species is called a mountain euphorbia, or Euphorbia avis montana, and you get them in these scattered little locations in amongst the rocks on the hills. A specimen like this is probably 80, 90, 100 years old. They are quite difficult to age, but they are very, very, very slow growing. So I always kind of like tip my hat to these little guys when I walk past them, because you just know the things they've seen, what they've been through: droughts, fires, extremely heavy rain. Yeah, so they've seen it. They've seen a lot of things in their time, and it's always worth just saying hi to them when you go past.
Hello everyone, here we have a martial eagle down in Djuma Game Reserve, where it is 22 degrees Celsius and 72 degrees Fahrenheit, but it is very, very rainy. My name is Trishala, and I've got Theo on camera this rainy afternoon down in Djuma, and that's why our martial eagle here has decided that it's just going to perch. Now you're going to see our rain roofs there. Please do excuse them. They're on for obvious reasons. And here is the gorgeous martial eagle. It's quite nice to see them because they actually are listed as vulnerable in this area, but the Kruger National Park does have about 250 of them or so. You can actually hear the rain. What a beauty. Quite a large eagle, about 4 kgs these animals stand at. And you can see that it's actually standing on one leg. like lots of birds do when it is cold or when it's sleeping, and that is to conserve some heat. Instead of the total heat loss from its featherless legs, now only half of that heat loss that it would be experiencing. So it is a great behavioral change to lift up that one leg. Joy, you're asking if it is normal to have rain at this time of year. I would call this the first rains. We will be moving out of our dry season now as soon as spring arrives, and spring's only a few weeks away. And the rain is welcomed. I hope this means that we'll be having a great rainy season like we did last year, because it's been very good for the bush. In fact, some pans around the area are still full, not just the dams. So it'd be excellent if the rains do come from now. But I do suspect this is a once-off early rain until it starts really coming down about a month and a half from now. Now, in this type of weather, especially large birds, but most birds will be perched like this. And that's because rain comes with a low weather pressure system. And that means that the air is a little bit less dense. And dense air is what birds need in order to create that aerodynamic lift to actually fly. So you'll see most of them perched like this in this weather. But it means that they can have drinks at little puddles and also play around in those little puddles, which I've seen a lot, especially on the roads. Little birds like doves and starlings, you'll see them on the roads playing about, having a little bit of a bath. So it would just be waiting out the rain for now. It'll still keep an eye on any of the food sources that it enjoys. Things like hares, other small mammals, even a small antelope, mongoose. Because they're so large, they can definitely take large prey. Look at those eyes scouting out. Gorgeous, gorgeous bird. It looks like it's going to stay put. I wish I could as well in this rain, but I'm going to move on and see what else we can find.
Well, Jumbo, and we all know this is the time for the migration. And what happened during migration? We got thousands and thousands of these animals. Wildebeest all over. Just listen to them. Excellent. And just loud and loud, and everywhere you go, they're everywhere, and just We have always tried to find out who are the most vocal. Is it the males or the females, which is always rather difficult. But we have a general feeling the males are more, they're more vocal than the females. We could be wrong, but we have always tried to debate, because you don't even know which one exactly is making the call. Jumbo, hello everybody. A very warm afternoon from the Masai Mara of Kenya. We got some wildebeests there for you. It's time for the migration, and we have them in the hundreds all over, going new. Anywhere you look, left, right, the only thing you're going to see will be this wildebeest. My name is David, and on camera with me today is Bungay. And Bungay, how are you this afternoon? And very excited to have all of you on board, because we got lots of good stuff for you this afternoon as we go back to our wildebeest there. Not very warm afternoon as it was yesterday. Yesterday was rather warm. Today is about 25 degrees Celsius and 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember, we are coming to you live from so many locations in Africa, and we like to talk to you. We like to interact with questions, with comments, and you're more than welcome. And you can tweet us with your questions or comments using #WorldEarth or at FC in the comment section of the YouTube chat channels. For the youngsters, you can do the same with sending us emails, kidsquestions@worldearth.tv. Chevy, that's an interesting question. I'd like to know if we ever see some crossings of these animals and all of them making it the other side. I'll tell you something. If it's a small group, say of about 5-10, they'll always have done their homework very well, and chances are the 5-10 or times 20 just come running all the way through. But there could be a possibility of one either fracturing her legs, or just falling to a crocodile, or maybe a lion or a lioness laying ambush. But when we see them crossing in their hundreds, I can tell you, we have about 1 or 2% of them dying for so many reasons. Number one, the other day we saw a crossing of these wildebeest, and we counted about 100 plus that unfortunately died, and they stumbled on each other because one side of the river had a very nice gradient, but the other side, the bank, was very steep and they couldn't climb, and out of panic they stumbled and climbed on each other, and we counted over 100 that died. Other reasons, we have seen predators taking advantage of that, and more so lions. Once they see them crossing, they just crouch in the grass, lay ambush, and very quickly pounce on a particular. And more often than not, they choose the youngsters. In the water, we have the reptiles. I'm talking about the crocodiles. And crocodiles, what they do, they stay under the water. They can comfortably open their eyes while still under the water. And they just look at the body language, the movement of these wildebeests they're crossing, come very close, and all of a sudden they just jump up, grab one by the neck. They do what you call a death roll and just bring them down. That happens a lot. So it's very, very difficult to see a big herd like this crossing the river without casualties. So my big plans today is to look for more herds, possibly swing by the river, or maybe look for some cats.
Thanks, David, and welcome to Juma, everybody. In the Service Sands, where we've got a griffin vulture, white-backed vulture, just perched in the tree. We've had a very overcast afternoon, and it's actually been raining up until now. And now, as soon as you've come to us, the rain has abated, thankfully, because, we don't like getting that wet. Hello, everybody. My name is Steve, joined by BK on camera, and very excited to have you with us on our vehicle. And feel free to jump on board and ask as many questions as you feel like. I was at the migration last year and actually watched a number of migrations which showed good success. I didn't see in many of them, actually all the ones I saw during our one show didn't have any casualties, which is quite incredible. There's some areas that those wildebeest cross that are quite easy, and there's some that they cross that you think, oh gosh, why on earth are you crossing here? But it is quite a spectacle to behold, and the vultures that attend to the dead animals up in that side of the world is also quite something. This individual on its own. No cause for alarm, no cause to think maybe there's something nearby. When it's overcast and cloudy like this, vultures do not fly. They could fly from one tree to another a little bit further away, but they don't do too much in the way of movement because it costs them a lot of energy. A very big body. They rely on thermals and heat generated from the ground to pick their body up as they fly. Very large, broad wings pick up the thermals and the currents and help to pick them up into the sky effortlessly. Just allow you to listen a moment for a few of the birds that have decided that the rain has been quite magical. Okay, we're going to carry on along this road, see if we can pick up any tracks in the wet sand.
Hello, welcome this afternoon on your digital safari here in the Masai Mara. My name is Isaac, and on camera I have Big James. We're back at the river, different location. This afternoon, remember to talk to me on Twitter handle, #WildEarth, and we're gonna show you what's happening in this crossing. Here are some of the wildebeest that we haven't seen yet today. I just found them, and they are gathered at one of the most primitive crossings. It is very hard for me to park there, so I have to stay at a distance until I see a movement. Then I'll move very close. Remember to engage me this afternoon, please. I will be sharing with you and Aline, you ask, how long does the migration take? Over here in Kenya, where, they come only for a very short time, they stay for a period of about 3 to 3.5 months. Of course, they never read the books. Now, with all the global warming, they can stay longer or can stay, within a very short time. Historically, they have been known to arrive here late June and stay July, August, September, and go back October. This year, we have seen them arrive here late July, so we're only at the height of the migration. So every year it differs, but it actually, moderately, it's about 3 months. And Aline, I think that's your answer. Here you can see they arrived. They were very in a hurry, and once they got here, somebody decided that it wasn't fair to go across because many of them died here a few days ago, and they can smell, I think they can smell the smell, and also maybe some escaped death from being trampled, because most of them actually broke their necks, their legs, and so they are very aware of this crossing, and that's why they are having a meeting to decide if it's okay to go across or not. There is still high chances that they will cross because they haven't moved very far. They just came, and they're only about 60 meters from the crossing. Remember, the river they are crossing is the beautiful Mara River, stretches from north almost to south, approximately 60 to 80 kilometers through the Mara. It is the heartbeat of the Mara. In the peak of the dry season, it provides water for many animals that don't migrate, like elephants, buffaloes, those that need water daily. So it provides water for them, and so it's very essential. It never dries. It does go down, but it never dries. Looks like there is a movement towards the river, so I'm gonna stay here and wait what's gonna happen. Ako arbeid say. Did you see your...
No?
Well, thank you for staying tuned. Here looks like there is a movement. Everybody has started, waking up, even those that were lying down. Only a few left. I can't blame them, to sit down like this. These guys do travel very long distances. I tracked them this afternoon from around 2 o'clock to now, which gives me around 3 hours. So they have been walking for 3 hours all the way here, and they have walked about 3.5 miles. I can't blame them when they sit down to regain the energy. Lisa, thank you for your question. I hope you're doing well and enjoying the show. You ask, how do they decide where to cross? Of course, there is those ones that are experienced. They've been through this before, and it is an ancestral route and a migratory route that they have taken in millennia, in decades. And so they do follow it. Every time they are in an area, they know the nearest crossing. And of course, also, most of the crossings are where most animals go to drink. So, even those paths, they follow them, they take them to the water and cross. But mostly, I would believe it's through experience. And depending where they are, they know where to cross. And this crossing is the most farthest from the one I was in this morning. It's called Quiche Crossing. It's just below the airstrip at Quiche Tembo. It's one of the most primitive. Oh yes, that's correct, Isaac. Where he is one of the best crossing points that I personally also chance. And anytime you wildebeest building there, chances are 8 of 10 times they will cross. Now, coming out of matters of big mammals, let's look at this one beautiful bird that belongs to the roller family, and it is called the lilac-breasted roller. Lilac-breasted roller. And two important things I want to mention here. Number one, it is my favorite bird of all the birds that we got in Africa. In the Maasai Mara alone, we got about 450 or up to almost 500 species of birds. This is my favorite one. And then apparently, number two, this is the national bird of Kenya. I am very happy to hear you're all saying it's a beautiful bird, and maybe that should justify why it is my favorite bird. Not very big. You can see it got a forked tail if you look carefully. It's not very big, but in flight, it is even more cute. It looks beautiful, and it's one of the birds that I think has most number of colors. Maybe 6, 7 different colors for that size. You'll see them perched in certain, little bushes, sometimes looking on the ground for something to feed, either something like a beetle or any insect that could be crawling. You see them just fly down, catch it, back sometimes at the same spot, crush it using their beaks, and then just swallow it whole. You also see them sometimes catching bees and butterflies. Very difficult to tell a male from a female. And definitely she must be waiting for something. I do not know what she could be looking for, but chances are she's waiting for some food. Very good to see my roller this afternoon. You have made my afternoon, and maybe we'll see you later.
Thanks, David, and you're back to South Africa with us, everybody. And we've got some crested francolins that have enjoyed the rainfall. They have basically decided, now that they got a little bit wet, it's a great time to preen themselves and groom themselves, straighten any feathers that are out of place, go for the preen gland on the tail and rub through the feathers, those little areas that the rainfall came through on. Birds love to wash themselves, love to clean themselves, and a little bit of rainfall, and when the sun comes out, very pleasant. Birds will often come out of that being very excited, calling a lot. This little covey of francolin made a whole lot of noise a moment ago. It set off the francolins calling all around the place right now. They've obviously all gone quiet as soon as you came to us, but easy to identify, this one. Crested francolin with a pinkish sort of legs. Very nice white supercilium. You can hear one calling off in the distance. That one was giving a little love tap on the ear. Little whispering sweet nothings in the ear there, hey, BK? Did you see that?
I saw it.
So it is actually a duet when you hear them calling. It sounds like they're saying Frankenlin. Frankenlin. You didn't hear it. Let me play it for you quickly. That is a duet. So the two of them will call together. They're just walking around after the rainfall. They'll be looking for any insects that might have come out. Earthworms and the like are often pushed out of the ground because of the rainfall. Everyone says they love the sound. It is a very nice sound. It can be quite loud and noisy in the early morning, though. But I don't mind it. Hello, Nora. You want to know why they alarm at the sight of predators? That's because predators eat them. All of our aerial predators, the big ones anyway, will all feed on francolins, as well as serval, wildcat, leopard, probably even genet. So if any of those are seen, these birds will alarm call to basically tell their friends, I see something that wants to eat me. Be careful. So alarm calls are something that are often done by social organisms, animals that have friends or family that will be either alerted to the call or react to the call. Either one, it means that the movement that the other animals create after the alarm call can quite often be enough to attract the attention of the predator. Because there's always that hypothesis that the individual that makes the alarm is now putting itself at risk. But essentially, when an alarm call is made, lots of other organisms, or especially of the same species, react to that alarm call. And that can lead to either the predator deciding it's not worth the effort because it's now been seen, or the activity of everybody scurrying away to find a hole or somewhere to hide might attract the attention, especially when it comes to birds of prey. But when it comes to camouflaged predators, when they've been spotted, they generally give up the chase. Rosalind, francolins are all part of the galliform family. So you could say guinea fowls, francolins, probably very close to partridges. Grouse are probably very close as well. Ground nesting birds that are generally omnivorous. You could call them game birds as a general sort of broad term. And there are many of them all around the world that are fitted into that same sort of category. I suppose the domesticated chicken is a very similar sort of organism. Obviously, there are some differences and some lineage changes along the way, but they all do form under a very similar sort of grouping and behavior pattern of being birds that can fly but don't really fly and save a lot of energy by being camouflaged, walking on the ground where they do most of their feeding and activity. And right now, they've enjoyed a little bit of rainfall, and so have we. We're quite happy that it's gone away, because maybe we'll be able to find some animals on the move, because it has been a nice, cool afternoon, but tracks in the sand will be far fresher, because they will have disturbed the moisture. So we're going to carry along on this road and see what we can find.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got some elephants there for you, and currently we are in an ad break for our SABC audience, and definitely that's a female elephant there, feeding the bush. Pretty good sun now. I mean, look at that light. It's a female, definitely, because of the shape of the head is flat-ish. That's how we tell males from females. And definitely she's not alone. Elephants are very social animals, and I'm sure there could be others, as you can see there. You see the flapping of the ears is because of the heat of the day. They'll always use their ears to cool off. We equate the ears to the car radiators. Flap, open, close, open, cool off. Most of the cooling of the blood is done in the ears. Unlike many other animals, I think elephants are the only animals that know where the cooling is done in the ears. I'll be quiet for a few seconds. Well, remember we're coming to you live, and any questions or comments are very, very welcome. You can tweet us using hashtag #WorldEarth for any questions or comments you may have. Now, apart from those two elephants there, to the left of them, I've seen some other tall animals not very far from there, and Bunge is going to be showing you those animals. And these are the tallest animals we got in Africa, the giraffes. These are the Maasai giraffes. Look at how far or how close they are between the two species, and apparently there's like no bad blood between them. But I've always noticed, should I see elephants, for example, with species like rhinos and more so black rhinos, there's always little bad blood between them. It's very unusual for us to see elephants very close to the rhinos. Here, the giraffes that we would call the Maasai giraffe are less than 10-15 meters away from the elephants. And you notice they're all eating in the thickets because it's quite warm at the moment. So apart from, getting some salt food or the type of food they'll be wanting to get there, it's a bit cool. Let's have a quick look at some crossing. Okay, sorry, we are here. They're just about to cross. This is a place I cannot really, I don't have a place where I can park properly. I hope you can see that. It's very chaotic down there. They're just about to go across. This is a very primitive crossing because on the other side, it's a sheer bank. So if they do cross, it's going to be massacre. It's going to be, like suicide. Nobody has gone yet, but they're just inches from going across. I don't have a very good place to park, but I will be, as soon as they get into the water, I'll try and move forward and find another section where we can actually see them go across. I don't know if they have started. They have started. Okay, I am going to repark. Stay there. Got to try and go around. Guys, this is very exciting, and there are not very many, so I'm going to try and... Oh dear. Sorry, I have to go all the way around. Stay there. I'm going to go and round and round and round. This is what happens here. Sorry. Okay, here I am. I've got somewhere to cross, to go down. Okay, here I come. All right, here I am. Here I am. Okay. There we go. Okay, guys, here we are. Look at this. They are piled up on the other side. There's nowhere to go. This is a disaster in the making. As I said before, I have seen them do this, and as I've been explaining, this is the only time that the river claims hundreds of thousands. These coming back might survive, but you could still tell many of them want to go across. Holy moly. Yeah, this is what happens when they decide to go and cross in one of the worst crossings. Look at this. There is no movement. The front is clogged. We just need somebody to say, let's turn back, and everybody will be saved. But you can tell nobody has gone across yet. Nobody has gone across, guys. They are still there. I'm sure a few have been trampled already. This is amazing. Thank you for holding on there. And this is live. It's coming to you from the Mara Triangle, the Masai Mara. Remember to talk to us. #WildEarth. Yes, not crocodiles yet. I'm gonna go quiet unless you ask me a question for the next 1 minute, so you can hear the noises. And I'm timing myself to be precise.
any longer. Nobody has gone across, believe me, unless you have seen one. Go past the bank, look at the scavengers, the marabou stock, the Ruppel's griffon. They're all there knowing that fresh meat has arrived. Those are the dead ones from the previous crossing. The marabou stock are there, and they actually, I'm sure they're welcoming their new fresh, meat, which is going to be served later on. This is amazing, guys. This is life, and nobody has pushed them there. They went there, and there's nowhere to go. George, good thinking. Like this one here coming back, you'd think they would think about that and come back. Some of them would, some of them are not coming back. You can see the current there is very strong. They're being washed downstream. Already some of them are very exhausted from struggling in those banks. So it's very, very difficult, to swim back. Mind you, we still have more trickling down and wanting to cross to my left bottom screen. Those ones have come back. I hope they've learned a lesson and not to go back. Yeah. Remember, this is all nature's ways and plans. They know that this is a primitive crossing, but they still come and they use it. Over the years, I have seen them come here, and I always wonder why they do it. But because they're wildebeest, they'll always be wildebeest. Those ones must be like, phew, that was close. Hopefully they've learned a lesson and they won't go back again. This is life. This is the ultimate experience. We see them in the plains. We see them in the plains. We see them, being chased, being eaten. But this is the other side where the river claims thousands of them. I hope that one doesn't jump there, because if it does, everybody is gonna do the same. Well, you always want to see crossing, but this is what happens sometimes. Are they gonna find a new path? Welcome back, guys, and looks like we found some clever wildebeest, and a way has been found to the left there. You can see some have escaped the trap. Some are still held on there. Those ones are the ones that have managed to find a path. I'll call them the smart ones. Yeah, and even that calf has made it. I'm sure he will remember this next year. Over here, us. Julia, why do they not learn from the previous, crossing. I think a natural instinct drive them, and I think it tells them maybe they will survive. And because every year the banks change, maybe they think it's going to be better. It's going to be easy to climb up, but there's no actually proper reason I can explain to you about that. I would say natural instinct drive them to cross, and I don't have any better, answer to that, because this is nature. You cannot tell exactly what they think when they come. Even after experiencing this, we still have the same thing happen next year. Hey guys, it's still going on. That area is still clogged. You'd wish one would have seen the ones go to the left, and so one would break and everybody would follow. So far, I haven't seen a casualty. I won't say anything until it's over. Sahara, did you see why are they curious to cross? Grass. Grass is a very essential commodity for wildebeest. Okay, how they choose to cross, Sahara, how they choose to cross. And like I said, this is an ancestral route that wildebeest have used over the years, and there are those ones that have used this maybe 2, 3, 4 times. So they follow it, and not knowing exactly maybe how it is, maybe the bank has been modified by the previous rains, and so it is difficult, but that's how they choose. It's a route many have taken before. Yeah, the survivors, you can see them. Look at those ones. Those ones have lost their moms, they have lost their calves, and some of them are waiting to see if they're gonna come up. If I was me, I would be gone. The survivors you see across, they've gone the straight line. Let's go back to the river. Do we have newcomers coming in? No. A lot of, there's another pile to the right there. James is going to be sharing that with you. Well, in this crossing, I have seen many crossings. This one is slightly different because before there's never used to be that spot where we're looking at. So the previous rains have modified to have that area. They used to go and pile up in a straight bank. And I feel very sorry, but I cannot interfere. And this is nature's way. Sharon, you asked me if wildebeest are overpopulated. No, neither is any animal. They have a very huge area to roam. They used to be more than this. Before this migration started, they say in the 1890s, the year 1900, there were more than 5 million wildebeest. So actually right now, it's a very small percentage. I would say humans are more populated. Yeah, we're looking at something that's happening right now. Here in the beautiful Mara Triangle in the Masai Mara. I don't know what's going on there. They're scared to go back. They're scared to go off to the left. They can't go up. See those ones on the bank there? Very soon one is going to fall. It's going to break its leg, its neck. Yeah. And look at this. This is epic, I would say. Everybody's wish to see a crossing. Not only crocodile claim, the wildebeest, they sometimes just kill themselves. You see those ones jumping there off to the right. Okay, sorry, I think we have to go. Oh, newcomers. Yeah, it never stops. You'd think that, they have learned, so they can see what's happening, but they are wildebeest. out of words because this is one amazing crossing. You normally see those ones that they just cross and crocodiles take them, but this is epic. This is awesome, to see them cross and really behave the way everybody, explains to you how they jump and break their legs, trample one another. This is, the other side where they reach a dead bank and they can go, over. Another few seconds of silence so you can listen to the noises and look, at their behavior. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this. It's one in a lifetime to see it live happening. You might look at, the recorded version of this, and you can be a witness that you actually saw it. It is happening now. Yeah, you would think that they would learn to go back, but nobody is thinking about going back. And this looks like it's gonna go on for the next 1 hour or so. Please stay with me. I'm not going anywhere. This is one in a lifetime sight. I have seen many, but there's always a special one like this one. Yeah, indeed, it is unbelievable. Yeah, look at those ones sliding down. This is when they break their legs. Yeah, okay, a few are swimming back. I think they've had enough. They've had enough of this, problem, and they're heading back. Look at those ones sliding, guys. Do you see that? Oh, yeah. Wow. You just, just wonder, what's going on in their minds. Now. Unbelievable. I still have a good number on this side that are waiting to cross. I don't know what they have decided. They're coming down and heading off to the right. I don't know what's going to happen. This is another disaster in the making because that little patch there, I don't think it's going to hold all of them if they decide to go up there. Look at that. Oh my God. What's gonna happen here? They're all patching up there. I don't know what's gonna happen. So far, I haven't seen any crocs.
So we had an amazing sighting just now of a fig tree. Unfortunately, we had to leave that sighting. Yeah, but what I wanted to say about it was this. We go into these environments, the Masai Mara, the Lowveld, KwaZulu-Natal, Kalahari, and we look at a whole range of species that are there. One of the things that interests me in particular is not so much the things that are there, but the things that are conspicuous by their absence. And very often that raises interesting questions about the ecology of the area. For all intents and purposes, you could have perfectly well, certainly looking at it from a human perspective, perfectly good habitat for X, Y, Z to occur there, but they're not there. We've got a lot of examples of butterflies here, and as we go into butterfly season, we'll talk about that more, where you've got all the factors that they need to our understanding for those species to occur in this environment, but they're just not here. What is it that drives that? And when you start trying to pick out those kind of questions and tease them apart, that's when the ecology of these areas becomes really, really, really fascinating. That when you've got a lion standing in front of you, you say, okay, well, a lion eats so much, and you go through the whole ecology. Okay, well, I'm completely out of sync, so we're just going to carry on ambling along here and have fun.
Everybody trying to find a solid step, trying to find a way out, but it's total chaos, total confusion. I wish they had a sober mind, because right now there is tension, there is confusion, and they are all lost. There is one in the water struggling. I don't know if you can see it, James, over there. A mother and a young one. See, it's chaos, I'll tell you. Yeah, oh, he came out. There's one trying to swim. Is that a crocodile? Oh, a crocodile got one. I didn't see that. One has been claimed. Somebody was asking about crocodiles. For sure, they always appear, out of the blue, and that is one that he has, killed. This is part of nature's guise. There's nothing we can do. We need the crocodiles, and they need to eat, and this is what they do best, and this is what they are made for. Yeah. There's another one that has decided to park right in front of the whole chaos, and maybe it actually might be a savior, because it will save the ones that are wanting to cross. There is a small herd of about 100, and I hope it will save them. There they are. Okay, let's go back across. So what is happening? They are extending further down. Oh, the crocodile is swimming down with the carcass, with the kill. He's gonna go and maybe wedge it somewhere and then come back. It's typical. Yeah, they're extending and walking further down the bank, which is no help because there's no way out. Yeah, a few years back, they wanted to create a pontoon bridge here, and that's why you see those rocks. But I think it never went through. Remember, this is happening right now, right here in the beautiful Masai Mara. And this time of the year, we always witness the Great Migration. Usually, the climax of the whole migration is to see them cross. Usually, we don't expect to see this kind of situation. The river crossing usually are peaceful. They go across. A few are taken, but in this crossing, in particular, it is very primitive, like I said before, because there's no way out on the other side. But they keep coming to this every year. Remember, I don't know if you remember, I said of the 400,000 that are born every year, about 100 to 150,000 don't make it to maturity. Maybe 50,000 don't make it, to their first year. Oh, some are found somewhere out. Chris, those are very good wishes, but we have seen already enough. We already feel sorry for them. I would wish, it doesn't appear, but if it appears, well and good. I feel actually sorry for them. But if it appears, it appears. I know you'd love to see that. Those ones have found a way. And I think it is an easier way than any other spot, because you can see it's moving fast. There's no piling up. So definitely it's much better. Looks like there's a flow and a smooth one. Yeah, others are still wandering and stranded. Some maybe from exhaustion. Look at that one, wanted to come back. Why did you come back? Oh my God. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why it came back. Maybe it had fun. Or maybe it's got a suicidal wish. Looks like they're very exhausted up there. And so they're regaining their energy. And hopefully they'll be able to go through. This is live. This is coming from the Masai Mara. Talk to us. #WildEarth is a handle to talk to us. Is there another one that has been taken? No, that one I think has drowned. Maybe he went across a few times and he got very exhausted, took too much water, and now it's gone. Okay, looks like they're heading back to the right. I would say if they continue in that direction, they will make it. Yeah, looks like they're following suit. They're going. Yeah, looks like it's happening now. So you can all breathe. Let's see if it piles up again, but looks like it's happening now. They're going across. Yeah, somebody made the right decision. This happens only in a period of 3 months. It's not always guaranteed that you will see this, but being at the right place at the right time, you might get lucky. And today, you are very fortunate to be at the right place, seated there, enjoying your digital safari, enjoying your, live coverage. Yeah, those ones, there's nobody. HH, you say they have bad eyesight? No, they have very good eyesight. I think they have a small brain. Because here, eyesight, I think, doesn't help. You need to have a brain that tells you that is a bank. You cannot go across. Yeah, look at those ones. Are they gonna jump in? Well, they're wildebeest. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Yeah, those two in front looks like they're making their fast migration, and they might make a very big mistake if they jump down there, because it's very deep. They say, deep waters run slow, quiet waters run deep. You can tell they're very slow or quiet. So if they jump, they're gone. Many of them have made it. We still have about maybe 300 struggling to make a good decision. I have been waiting for this the whole day, and I wasn't, tired. And now, we've gotten lucky. I'm so happy that you're able to join me and my colleagues in this live broadcast from the beautiful Masai Mara, the one and only Masai Mara. Okay, let's go back. I'm tired. Okay, after staying in the bank for about half an hour, they have made a decision to come back. Those are serious leaps. Lucky it's very deep, otherwise if there was rocks, they might break their legs. I don't know if there's a crocodile to the left, but he's doing nothing. He's very well fed, or maybe he's choosing. Yeah, I think these ones have made the right choice to come back. Oh, there's one that's very tired, the one at the back. Is he gonna make it? Is he gonna make it? Oh, they're jumping off to the right. James, all right, James. James, right, a little bit over there, James. They're jumping at the bank. There. I told you, they're wildebeest. Thank you. Look at that. This is epic, guys. I never thought they would do that. Wildebeest will always be wildebeest. I never thought they would do that, but they are doing it. Even after looking down and saying, it's very steep, they will still do it. And actually the pressure is growing from behind. Let's see. Sorry, James, for telling you where to point the camera, but I got very excited. Look at that. That is the last thing I expected to see them do that. Look at that, they're so tired. The leap of life, I would say, was happening there. Those nearly, collided. Still jumping. Oh my, look at that. Unbelievable, guys. I never thought this would happen, but it's happening. I'm sure you've heard of stories where people tell you they jump off the banks and you think it's not true. Now you can believe me, they do it. I've seen them do it many times. Although that slope is getting better, so they're sliding down, they're wearing it, and it's going to be very impossible for one to stand there now. So once you're on that spot, you'll have to slide down. Yeah, they've, used, their hooves have dug it, and now it's a slide down. They're no longer jumping. Okay, a few have broken to the right, and they have remembered, oh, why go back? I saw Isaac go that way. And James, maybe let's follow. Those are smart ones. They leave to tell the tale, and they leave to do another crossing. Yeah, a few coming back, you cannot believe this, and jumping down. Look at that. This is unbelievable. It never stops. Every time something, ends, another one stops. You would ask yourself, why are they coming back? Please, I'm just gonna go shut again a little bit and, enjoy. I'm here. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna take a sip of water. This is exhausting. Yeah, I don't know if you're asking yourself the same I'm asking yourself. They can see those ones going off to the right. Why don't they just go that way and everybody will survive? Yeah, go that way. Yes, they're doing okay. That crew, that herd there is doing very well. But I don't know for how long they're going to do that. Yeah, they're doing okay. We have few left. Looks like most of that herd will survive. And there's no turning back now. Looks like everybody is going. Or maybe I'm wrong. Somebody is saying, Mom, I'm not going without you. The cry of a calf with a lost mom. Hear that? Yeah. Oh dear, is it gonna happen again? Here we go. Here we go. From almost escaping to daring to die. Unbelievable. Okay, are they gonna make it? The trio, the fabulous three. Okay, looks like they're doing it. Yeah, here comes a croc. Here comes a croc. Are we gonna see it? I think that croc was choosy. It knew it wanted to go for a young one. They made it. They made it. Now I hope they don't decide to go back. Those few there are still standing in shock. They haven't decided, what is best for them. You would assume that they could see those calves swimming across and decide to come back. But nobody, is thinking about that. Beautiful light. It's almost some minutes past 5. Beautiful time to be out here in the Masai Mara. Our croc is parked there, just at the entry point, waiting, to see if it's gonna have a meal for today. It doesn't need to kill. There is enough carcasses downstream. There's another one. Is that Ray? You ask if the migration changed the landscape. It doesn't. What? It doesn't. What it does, it actually fertilizes. They play a very good role. The migration plays a very good role because they are fertilize the land, and also they get rid of grass that would be left with nobody to eat. So apart from those two, it doesn't play a very big role in changing the landscape that much. It reduces the grass. Places like here, you can tell they haven't made a big impact, in the bank. So it doesn't actually, they don't do very, very much, in changing the landscape. They improve the landscape by making sure that it's always fertile for the next generation and the next years, to have fertile grass for everybody, from the elephant, rhino, giraffes, elands, tortoises, and themselves. Now we're only left with those stuck on that bank. You wonder what is going on in their mind. They could just turn back and swim, across. That would be life saved. But they're just standing there. I don't know what's going on in their mind. Not far from where they are is where the others died the other day. And, from where I am, I can smell the smell of the carcasses. Sorry, this is horrible. I advise you, but this is the reality. That is from about 5 days ago. Today, we didn't see many die, but it does happen. Here are a few that still got the will to go across. I don't know if they're gonna go. That croc is in their way, but who am I to say anything? I've seen them run and trample the crocodile until the crocodile just took off, to try and save its life. I'll stay here for another few minutes and see what's going to happen. If something changes, I'm sure we will be with you.
Well, I just wish I'm where Isaac is, because to see a crossing for that long, it's very special. Not sure I would be able to send a message to these lions here. There's a lot of crossings going on, and possibly there could be some casualties, and they could be getting some dinner for themselves. Well, I was here this morning with this particular pride, and this is the Owino pride. That's one of the females, and to the left of your screen, you might see some either cub popping up an ear, or one of them, or an adult rather, enjoying the sun. Looks like a male to me, yes, it looks like a male to me. So there's a cub there, and next to the cub is the male in charge of this particular pride. Not very hot at the moment, that's why they're out in the sun. Others, when I left them in the morning, they were just taking some good advantage of a shade of a tree that we call gardenia. Look at the belly of that cub. Majestically showing how fit. I would guess more of a he. If I look at him carefully, you can see some little signs of mane coming out. So chances are he is a boy. Moved off to a place that's less sunny, get a bit of shade. And just enjoying the view of the savannah and thinking what would happen. Definitely I would say he's very young to be involved in hunting, and maybe thinking whether mom or auntie will be involved in hunting later in the day. Now this pride that's called the Owino pride has 4 females normally and 1 youngster male, and of course that one male that has taken over, because they used to mate with some other males that we call Quiche males or the triangle boys, but this male here is the one in charge of the females. Once in a while, you'll see them together, but in general, you'll get the big boys forming their own club that we call coalition on their own, and the girls and the cubs staying together in pride. But this is a time to make party, and what the male has to do is to stay close. Is to stay close to the girls. Well, I got a question whether I have seen the Sausage Tree Pride yet. Well, yes and no. No, because I have not ventured to that area as yet, because since we came back, we have been very, very fortunate to have lots of animals around where we are. I mean, all these lions, the Owino Pride, the Ololo Pride, the crossing that you just saw with Isaac, we have been very fortunate that we have not ventured where the STP of the Sausage Tree Pride is. But when I talk to my friends, the game rangers and the game warden, they're telling me that pride is still doing very well and they're very solid. So maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, who knows. But in the meantime, we are enjoying the Owino pride here. Look at the beautiful Mara, the plains, the savannah. There's nothing that compares to this in the world. I mean, there's so many other beautiful places all over the world, but when you come to Africa in terms of wilderness, I think we do pretty well. So in case you want to know when lions go to hunt, I mean, I'll tell you, these lions will do what they want and where they'll want to hunt. It's very difficult. This particular pride, yesterday, they brought down 3 wildebeest. You would believe it. 3 wildebeest. And as I said, it's a pride of 4 females and 3 cubs, and of course, including Owen put the male there. So yesterday, they brought down 3 wildebeest, and that was early in the morning. So I still believe that has been taking them up to now, and maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow morning, who knows, they might go for a hunt. The times you've seen them hunt every other day, the times they'll go for 3 days without hunting, the times they'll even go for a week. Of course, depending on the availability of food or depending on the amount of food available. I'll stick here maybe. As it cools off, there could be a high possibility they might wake up and start stretching.
Hello everybody, welcome to us. Very wet. We've got some elephants that are as wet as we are. The rain has returned and it is wonderful August rainfall. A bit early for the spring, but a wonderful nevertheless. So we've got 3 elephant bulls here that are just meandering in from Torchwood. A whole herd has been in front of them. I can only tell that by the tracks. They're heading into the drainage line of Djuma to go and do some feeding. Hello everybody, my name is Steve, I'm joined by BK on camera, and we are trying to stay as dry as we possibly can, but it is a nice, wet, overcast day. There go our elephants into the dense thickets. Okay, well we're not going to be following them, but we are looking for Tundi to cross this morning. We had her this morning down here, she crossed out, but she left her cub on our side. Keen? Everybody keen for that? I'm keen. BK, you keen for that? Yes, I'm keen for that. So, the tracks came out last night out into Torchwood, and then she came back to Torchwood just over here to Djuma this morning, and then a bit further south we had her going out. So maybe she'll come back, find her cub. Maybe we'll find her first.
So, I'm not going to claim any of this sighting for myself here. We were actually looking for some ant-eating chats. And then David said, there's some lions. So what you got here, there's 2 lionesses on the right, and then 2 sub-adult males here on the left. So the lioness on the far right is a youngster. That's a sub-adult. And then you've got an adult female to her left, and then 2 sub-adult males. What's really interesting about these, at this kind of age, and I'm talking about the sub-adults here, these are the kind of cats that are really going out, breaking away from the prides. They've got pressure from the parents, especially the young males, and they are actually starting to hone their hunting skills. And they will go for pretty much anything that they can find, anything that they can get hold of, big, small, medium, doesn't make a difference. They'll try their hand in order to hone their skills. Obviously, there's like kind of limits there. You know, you're not going to get a tiny little group like this going for adult buff and that kind of stuff. But they're certainly not shy about stalking anything. So it's often at this kind of age where they run into problems with things like porcupines. This kind of age, and then also very, very old lions that are kind of on their last legs and looking for something easier to eat, and then they make the mistake of tackling porcupines. But this time of day, unlikely to have any issues with them. Dusk, that's when lions become hunting machines, from dusk onwards. Always a good idea to be safely tucked up in bed, kids, at dusk and at night. No, but it's really cool to see them like this, nice and relaxed. And it's not that hot here. They are lying in the sun. If this was in summer, they would have been in the shade.
Didn't get from Lynette.
From Lynette has asked a question which I didn't get, something about something in lions. Apologies there, our signal's not great. Got you. Okay, so Lynette has asked, what is the difference in the lifespan of males and females? Male lions almost always live a shorter life than the females do. And there's very, very, very good reason for that. You know, you can get females of 14, 15, 16-year-olds, even in the wild. Males, 7, 8 years. You do get these occasions, and we all know Cecil the lion. That was and he was like some remarkable age there. But that's exception to the rule in nature. Normally, your males 7, 8 years, occasionally 9, but then they're really wearing thin. And the reason for that is when they're this kind of age, they've got to disperse away from the pride. Then they've got to look after themselves for 2-3 years before they're big enough, strong enough to take over a pride. Once they've taken over, and they've got to fight to take over that pride. And once they've got that pride, then it's the wear and tear of the assisting with the hunting, which male lions do hunt, contrary to what a lot of people say, that males don't hunt, the females do all the work. Males are very, very good hunters. They've got to defend the pride, they've got to chase other lions, they get into fights, and keep defending their own titleship to those prides against intruding males that are wanting to take over their pride of females. So your males tend to suffer a lot more injuries. They in serious encounters more frequently. It's not to say that the females don't. And even in Tswalu, I mean, we've had a number of occasions of lionesses being killed in inter-pride disputes. So it's not unheard of. But your lifespan of your males is typically shorter than your females. This is a great file. Well, David, we keep you around for a reason. You know that. And I thought it was just your camera work.
Welcome back, guys. Our stranded herd is still stranded, confused and shocked at the same time. They're piled up there. I don't know what's going on in their minds, but none of them has decided to calm down. Gunu, this is real Gunu. I don't know why they're scared to come back. Even if they wanted to cross, many of them would survive. The crocodiles are very full. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. Don't be mistaken. This is not recorded. This is live. It's happening now. Here in the beautiful Mara River, the only river that traverses through the Masai Mara. It cuts across, forming the Greater Mara and the Mara Triangle. A source of livelihood to many, but also a catalyst to the migration. To make sure that the numbers are kept in check over the years. Otherwise, if the river wasn't there, there's no water enough to sustain these guys, and also the numbers would explode, overgrazing and overpopulating, the area. These are few. Maybe some of them did cross and came back, and now they're confused. Do we continue or do we go back? It's a decision neither me or you can give them. It's up to them to decide. Some smart move there. How long can it last? They sometimes can walk 5 steps and stop. It's like they have forgotten their car keys or something, and then turn back. You'd think there is enough lesson learned with the dead ones there. Those ones stuck on the bank. Some are drowning. Others being taken by crocodiles. You would think, phew, I survived. Let me go. But nobody has learned. This is a vulture's restaurant, and I tell you, it is very smelly. Is that Tim asking, can I describe the smell? What word do you really, explain something rotten? Yeah, have you ever been to abattoir? I know most of you have never been to. It's worse than being there. This is rotten, smelly meat, full of vulture's feces, blood, intestines, guts, grass. It is horrible. I'm lucky it's not as strong where I am, and I think it's because the river is open, so there's a wind, masking it. We're getting only a whiff, but how to describe it? It's horrible. Very smelly. Okay, 2 incidents there, dead and alive. You wonder what their thoughts are. Are they in shock? Are they waiting for death to come? What's going on in your mind? Look at that scene, the vultures above there and the stalks. Yeah, something about marabou stock. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, I think that's a place I don't want to be, you know. Yeah, you asking if there's any monitor lizard or baby crocodiles. Not really, I don't see. And it's very rare to see baby crocodiles in the Mara River. I think that's a twig. Is that a monitor lizard? We gotta look for it. I understand there is something in the water, but the marabou there is. Oh, there is a monitor lizard. You see it, James? There, well spotted. Imagine, I was so excited, I missed it. Is he drinking, or is he gonna go into the water? That is a Nile monitor lizard, and also it does eat meat, and also it does scavenge. I'm sure it's having a time of its life. Maybe it's never seen this kind of... Oh, sorry. Sorry, I just got a very bad whiff of the smell. I nearly lost my lunch. Yeah, that is a monitor lizard. Oh my God. It is very smelly. Sorry, I never got it that bad. Yeah, is that one gonna come down? No. I don't know what's going on in their mind. I don't know how much longer they're gonna be there. I have time. I don't know if they have time. I don't know if you have time. We're just gonna sit here and see what's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm gonna be here for a little bit longer. And then, yeah, let's find out what's gonna happen.
Good afternoon, sorry everyone, and welcome to Pridelands. It is a very cold afternoon out here. Sebastian and I are freezing. I thought I was live a few minutes ago, hence why I'm chuckling. My name is Taylor McCurdy and I like to laugh a lot. And on camera with me is Sebastian, and he likes to wear gloves on cold days. Anyways, the Impala are also wearing their winter jackets this afternoon, but they've given us the slip. I don't know, Seb, if you are going to be able to see them very well. They are just disappearing off into the distance, so at some point we'll try and catch up to them. But it's been very quiet on our front. We've literally seen nothing. This is the first herd of animals that we've seen. So I don't know where everything's gone. I didn't even get to see you this morning, but the leopards have all crossed out. They've crossed north into our neighbour's property. Hopefully they do come back, though, so we're on our way to check that area to see if they've maybe moved during the cool, cold, windy day that we've had. But nothing's come down to the dams. I don't even know where one elephant is. And that's unusual for Pridelands because there's elephants everywhere, but they're probably hiding from the wind. The Impala, however, they found a nice little sheltered spot where we are right now. There's actually not too much wind at all, just a gentle breeze, but you can see how fluffed up they are. I don't think that they're enjoying this weather very much either. But they're probably a lot warmer than we are sitting in this vehicle. They actually look like they're about double their normal size with the very, very hairy coats. But heads down and tucking into some delicious dry grass, as they normally do. Also some Aramark babblers chatting in the distance. Actually, the birding has been quite good today, but you'd think that any of them would stay long enough for us to put on camera? Don't be silly. Typical of the birds. Maybe we'll get some giraffe also in the area we're going to. I did see lots of their footprints this morning, so they might be out and about and amongst the trees. So we'll also have a little look of them for them. Tom, listen, I've cried real tears because there's been no elephants. See, look at that Impala said, no what? There's no elephants. Nah, that can't be true. There's always elephants on Pridelands. Yeah, I just saw one a minute ago. How did you not see it? Are you blind? Yes, Impala, thank you so much for pointing out the obvious. So we will try and find elephants. The breeding herds seem to have ventured off elsewhere too, because I haven't even seen our one favorite herd of elephants, not Fang's herd, because Fang doesn't come here, but the Alicia Keys herd, and it seems like she's right in the corner of one of our properties. So sadly, we don't have any signal down there, but I think they've been giving water a skip. Impala? Oh, very flexible. Right, let us carry on. And we go down along the road and head in that direction because the northern boundary is not too far away, and fingers crossed maybe those spotted cats have come back in.
Well, elephants or lions could be good, but luckily I got my lions here. When we don't get the lions bringing down wildebeest, once in a while we have seen them practicing to hunt, especially the cubs with small prey like impalas. The cubs you see here, they do not start to hunt until maybe they're 14 months or going to 2 years. By the time most of them are 2 years of age, they are able to hunt for their own. Now, if you look carefully, you'll notice most of them have moved to some shade of that tree just to keep cool because it's still rather hot here. That's the one boy that we saw earlier. So there are 3 cubs here, and they seem to be of 2 different ages, or rather 2 liters. So that's a lot older than the other 2. When they blend in like this, even wildebeest or any other predator pass here will not see them. Heidi, lions will roar at different times. In general, it's always at night, in general, but not once. They'll also do that during the day. A few reasons make them roar. One is communication, and ideally, when they roar, they want to keep in touch. Amongst themselves, for example, if they are split. The second reason is if it's a male roaring, they will do that for territorial reasons. They want to spread the word out there. This is our home, and this is our territory, so do not play games. And if there's a coalition, for example, of 2 or 3 different males, or rather of different ages, you might see them like making a rhythm or a song, one having a deep roar than the other. You might hear one go, and then another one may take over and you hear, hello there. So 2 main reasons that will make them roar. We haven't seen this one do that as yet. If there are no reasons for competition, for space, or for food, they might go quiet for quite some time. But like late at night, 1-ish, 2 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, we hear them a lot. And not once they've given us an idea of where they would be the following morning. Although they might roar at a particular point and then move on, but chances are we'll always know where to track them from. Remember, should you have any comments, or any question like Heidi, you're welcome to do that. Hashtag #WildEarth. What did you see there? I guess he must have seen a francolin, I think, at a point, and got curious. You see them flicking their tails, rolling over, enjoying their snooze, as is typical of all cats all over Africa, more so lions than any other cat. That should be like the big boy there by the virtue of the size. Now, the other 2, those are the 2 cubs that are much younger than the one big one that you saw earlier. So 4 females here, 2 mothers definitely, and we got 2 litters. For those of you who could be joining us now, this is the Owino Pride. And I'm getting a feeling of wanting to move on because they have been quite flat, quite quiet, and maybe look for something else that could be more active.
Once again, same situation. I have named them the North Clan, the Wildebeest North Clan. They're still there. My crocodile parked there. Look at his back. He's so full, he cannot fully submerge. The marabou stock have had their fill. This is has seen, out of this world. That crocodile has had enough, going to find a place to rest until tomorrow. And I don't think he's using any effort there, just drifting down using the current. Our North Clan is there, and our graveyard is still very active. By now, you'd have thought, they would have decided it is very smelly, and I can see somebody I know who died, so I better go back. So you wonder what's going on. The marabou stocks are so full they don't want to even, eat anymore. Yeah. Okay, I think this is gonna go on, and sometimes it's not always nice to leave us in like this, but sometimes you just don't wanna know what happened. So I'm gonna change the areas, and I'll see you down the road if it's okay. Good luck.
Just watching these starlings going absolutely crazy at the edge of the water. I mentioned earlier how the temperatures picked up really, really nicely today, and that accounts for all this bathing going on. Obviously, it's routine ablutions for a bird. A lot of birds bathe during the day, but on very cold days, you don't see it that often. But we now past that point of the coldest temperatures, I hope. I could be very wrong. And we're starting to go into the warmer part of the year again, and you're going to see this kind of behavior more and more frequently. These birds are almost all of them are wattled starlings. There's a couple of red-eyed bulbuls and violet-head waxbills and Cape turtle doves in the mix there, but the majority of what we're seeing there are wattled starlings. But look at there, they're coming down to the edge of the water again. And you see how nervous they are at the water. They like using the trees and bushes that are as close to the water's edge as possible, because that affords them at least some degree of protection in the event that a raptor comes past. Things like this area is frequented by gabar goshawks. There's actually a pair that nests in this area every year. Speaking of which, I still got to find that goshawk nest. Wendy, our pangolin researcher, she actually found a pale chanting goshawk nest today, but it's miles away. We need to find that pair where the meerkats are living. But how's this beautiful flurry of activity here? Just like in and out the entire time. What a gorgeous afternoon, eh?
Taylor's asking if we get mouse birds here.
Oh, Taylor has just asked if we get mouse birds here. Yes, we do. We've actually got two species that we get here. We get red-faced mouse birds and white-backed mouse birds. And they are fantastic little things. In fact, we saw some like 20 minutes ago. A little group of white-backed mouse birds. We didn't have great signal, unfortunately. But yep, mouse birds are here. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but they've got the cutest dance that they do during the breeding season. I've only ever seen it once. The male actually sits and hops up and down on a branch, literally. So you got this like crazy looking bird, like an Archaeopteryx looking bird, and he sits in one spot on a branch, literally just hops up and down like that with his feet off the branch. It's very, very cute to watch. Those lines that we saw earlier are in a straight line from where we are sitting here now, or about 450 meters, 450 yards. So I would guess they would probably, as it cools down, they'd get up and start moving and probably head over this way a little bit later. But we're not going to stick around. We're going to just amble along through the grasslands, see if we can find you some termites, because termites are really awesome little animals. And they're super important for the ecology of the area. And you know, if you relate those to sort of cycling of nutrients and pangolin survival, aardvark survival, those kind of things. So really, and aardwolf, of which I still need to show you one. See, I don't forget these things. You might think I do, but I don't. It's always good just sitting in one spot. So I'm a big believer in that. And that being said, we're going to move shortly. Oh, we still live. Ah, great. Excellent. Get these like moments of silence. I get worried that everyone's fallen asleep watching us. It's quite often quite humorous. You see they'll all go down and then they dart off again quickly. And it's often when a dove or something flies past, because these doves, the profile of a bog goshawk, these little accipitas, these grey hawks, is not dissimilar to a large dove coming past. And sometimes you see that it's sitting at the edge of the water bathing, and next thing this dove comes past and they all just bolt. There's a Kalahari scrub robin right here. I don't know if you can see this bird right here, David. Ah, okay, don't worry, he's just flown away. Sorry, we had a bird hunting on the ground right here, but... Oh, here come some lapwings are coming in. There we go, across the frame. They might circle around, and there we go. Well, that was very obliging. They landed just where the starlings were. So what you get on the edges of these pans, where that one's walking that David's on, you get that green vegetation there, that wispy, it's a kind of sedge. Many of you will know sedges. But those little sedges, that waterside vegetation is home to water scorpions. They're not related to scorpions, they're insects, not arachnids, and they also don't have an actual sting, but they kind of, in body form, vaguely resemble scorpions. And they've also got two big nippers on the front. But they've got those long, thin tubes, almost like a needle tube on their rear end, which is hollow, and they actually sit hanging under the surface of the water just with the tip of that tube on the meniscus of the water, and that's actually how they breathe through that. And anyway, but these lapwings often catch water scorpions. That's the moral of the story. Don't be a water scorpion when there's a lapwing around.
Wild Earth relies on support from viewers like you to carry on broadcasting our daily live shows. A small donation goes a long way in helping us on our mission to connect the world with nature. Please visit our support page to see how you can help and become part of the Wild Earth family.
Hello, everybody. From birds to birds, here's another one in the road. An emerald spotted wood dove. Who's looking a little bit wet, a little bit damp, but it's out and about. It seems as if the worst of the rain has passed. Well, we hope so. It's been a very unpleasant sort of side angle rain that just cuts into the eyes and just wets everything. There we go. Shake yourself out, girl. A great way to keep yourself warm. Go for a bit of a stroll and get some food in the belly. Looking for grass seeds. Also saves enormous amounts of energy by walking around feeding. Ladybird says that's one soggy bird. It is indeed. Ladybird, one soggy bird. They're all quite soggy. The birds have been quiet for the last hour because the rain really started coming down. And it sounds like the francolins are starting to shout again. And a lot of birds will try and dry themselves off, because one of the things that can happen, especially if you get a bit of rain like this when it's still a bit cold, if animals and birds as well get wet and it turns out to be a cold evening, they can get rather sick and pneumonia can set in. So it's important for these birds to be prepared to keep their feathers dry and to shake it all out. There's nothing much the mammals can do apart from either sheltering in burrows if they do that, or just hoping they can stay dry or dry patch. They just have to grin and bear it, really. The right light, this bird's got a wonderful little emerald spot on the wings. Spat, you want to know what the call of this bird is like? That's a very bad rendition of it. It's a very sad call, the emerald spotted wood dove. I'll play it for you, though. Oof, my fingers are cold. Are you ready to listen? Have a listen to my hat. Very mournful call, isn't it?
Welcome, everyone. This is Doom from Beyond Pinda Private Game Reserve, and we are here. I have Craig right behind the camera. Here we have some, even in a long video distance, we have two white Rhino bulls. They're actually challenging each other. As you can see, they will be like trying to challenge for their territory. It's quite difficult to see what Craig is trying to zoom in so you can get to see if we can get a better view. As you can see, they're moving backwards. They keep on pushing each other like that. If we're trying to look a bit closer, you might be able to see one of the bulls. That one on the right hand side has got quite a big damage on his above of his eye because of doing this. It's quite yes, they don't have horns, but still get hurt when the other one using his weight to hit the other one. That's why he doesn't want to be touched. He's trying to make sure they move a bit far back, but I want to follow as well, because the reason why it does that is just for territory. They will fight for territory. All over the place, there's a lot of scent marking of their they drop it down, what we call it, the rhino maiden. So that's what they marking their territory with. But also when they're moving, they'll spray to make sure the other rhino get to know that there's someone's territory here. But I think what happened, when other one come around, he realized someone has been in my place, and they start follow that, and until find it, the other one said, no, this is my place too. That's why they're ending up fighting like that. As you can see, they trying to make sure they avoid actually to fight, because they can easily kill each other, especially when they have horn. But now the chance of them to kill each other is very, very low, but they can still damage badly with this. Shame, that one on the right hand side. Yeah. But he's very brave. So, wow, that's amazing sighting. You don't really see that very often, because they'll try and avoid Nina Moo, nice to hear you again. And they all make sure whenever they are around in an area, especially for the bull, when also if you're trying to stay on his own territory, to make sure when you find a female on heat, you're trying to follow that until you find it. Wow, look at that. It's amazing to see they all spend so much time keep on pushing each other like that, because one of the bull over there will be that's his territory, but the other one will be challenging him, and one is trying to defend his territory, and like a boxers anyway. One of the guys were trying to challenge, trying to get someone his belt, but when someone was trying to defend his belt, same thing what these guys do. One is defending his territory, one is trying to take over someone's territory, because he will think I can do it. But if you look at one on the right hand side, it's slightly smaller comparing one on the left. And then if you look at that way, they're pushing each other. You can see there's one on the left is a bit more pushing that one on the right hand side. And it's a very good chance that that one on the right hand side, that is his territory here. But because he's defending, he doesn't want to run away. That is a lovely sighting to see. I haven't seen a rhino fighting for quite a while now, and it's very rare to see that. It's very, very special sighting to have. But Tswalu is a bit far away, but Craig is making all his magic, so you guys can be able to see it as well. Luckily here it's a bit more open, but what makes it a little bit difficult is there's trees. They look very similar color of these rhinos. It would be nice if they push more to the right hand side, but the little one at the right is defending quite a lot. And yeah, interesting to see that, the way they keep on pushing. They can do this like in hours as well. Easy. Oh, look at the distance now. One who decided to move. Whenever one turning his back, the other one was trying to push as well. I think he's winning. As soon as the other one starts running, that one chasing, he's a winner. And it will take a long time for the other bull to come back into this area, because you know what was like when it is leaving that area. Look at that side, the size of that one. The color also a bit more dark because we've been rolling on a different soil. Well, we'll just wait in here and see what's gonna end.
I have been very selfish this afternoon because I am freezing and the rain has soaked me. So I said, I'm coming to sit at the den so I don't have to drive. And lucky us. It looks like Intima is around and the two little ones, and they're playing a ring around the termite mound at the moment. Well, I'm really happy that they're here and that the rain has eased up just a little bit. Too little, too late, I say. Everyone's excited about some hyena den time. Well, I'm glad you are excited. I certainly am. They gave us a really, really nice time this morning. and surely it will continue. They're all fluffed up, wet and soggy. No doubt a little bit cold, but I suppose when you're running around like this, I mean, how did they even pop up on the other side so quickly? Hello, little. They're playing a lot. Now, down where Ntima is there seems to be something on the ground that they keep pulling at. So I wonder if they've dragged a bit of carcass from somewhere. I also see a few bones that were not here this morning. Like that one. I drove most of Simbambili looking for any signs of a leopard, and then did bits of Djuma, and then finally arrived back at the den, and I think just at the right time. Sometimes, or most of the time, in fact all of the time at a sighting, it's so much about timing and just wherever the bush takes you. And this time we were really lucky arriving at the den with them out.
Hello everybody, welcome to the river and welcome to one of our spotted eagle owls. We might hear a squirrel every now and again shouting his defiance. Yes, that squirrel saw the eagle owl at the same time we did. He's not very happy with life. Now, this is one of Sebwig's parents. Those of you who don't know who Sebwig was, we spent a lot of time with a juvenile spotted eagle owl last year. Right here. This is one of the adults. Incredibly camouflaged, isn't it? Shame, everybody laughing at the squirrel. How would you feel if an enormous raptor swooped past your place of rest? It's about 20 times bigger than you are. You'd probably also be shouting a little bit. It is quite funny though, isn't it? You hear that high-pitched noise it makes? That is the sound of an aerial predator. I find squirrels to be incredibly accurate with aerial predators. One's on the ground. I'm not so reliant on it. This fellow seems to have had enough espressos to keep up an army of soldiers with those eyes. Ooh. I didn't like my comment. Very alert for this time of day. These large owls are, for the most part, active at night, but, opportunistically, they will catch food in the day. Excuse me while I just take my hood off Lions ate my mum. You want to know how far Sebwig would go? Now he's moved off. I really don't know. There's actually so little known about the breeding successes of these birds. How far away? Generally in raptors, it's the male that sticks close by to the breeding parents and the female that displaces. That's with most large raptors. If that is the same with owls, I'm not 100% sure. But I'm almost certain I saw Sebwig in January or February. Found a spotted eagle owl on a pole, just chilling. He was just looking at me, doing that typical sort of Sebwig look. Ooh, a little bit of grooming happening now. You'd be scared, wouldn't you, to groom yourself with a beak like that? Be scared you'd hurt yourself, keeping it just to the feathers. Very alert. Now that was its back. Quite incredible, being able to turn all the way like that. Oi. Now that is some serious athletic sort of stretching ability. It was cleaning the tail feathers. The ability to turn one's head almost 360 degrees. Obviously impossible to do so. Your neck would fall off, but the ability to turn and rotate the head as far back as owls can means they can maintain their camouflage position in the tree and just move their head in response to sounds, and they'll move it from left to right because they've got ears. We might see ear tufts on the top of owls' heads, but they're not actually ears. The ears are in different hemispheres on the side of the face, and that sort of bowl-like shape on the face is designed to sort of collect sound vibrations which wash over the beak and over the eye sort of socket area around that bowl, and they spill off the bowl at different speeds, and then obviously reach each ear at a different time. This happens all very quickly, of course, and through that they're able to triangulate the movement of an animal moving on the floor in pitch darkness. There, so the sounds would go through, hit the beak, and sort of fade off the beak, hitting that round black circle around the side of the head, spilling off of that, hitting the ears at a very specific speed, and the owl, in a complete darkness, would be able to triangulate the movement of something moving on the ground and even change its direction mid-flight to anticipate that animal's movement. Caption that, eh? Me? I can do that? March, it's uncertain. It's uncertain. Maybe they'll have another one this year. Large raptors will breed every year or so if conditions are suitable, and it definitely is going to be a suitable year. There's going to be lots and lots of... Oh, what's that? Oh, I've got a hyena. Hello. Hello. You just want to bomb the show, don't you? You just heard the grass next to the car. You probably heard that. It looks like one of the youngsters. Just going for a little stroll. No, that's not the kind of food that an owl will go for. A little bit too big. But there should be lots of rodents and the like, baby birds, reptiles, that will be out and about in the coming months. Now out and about still, but the breeding season will come soon. Lots of small mammals will be breeding, and I think the owls will be able to have another clutch. It's hard to say, really, but we'll have to monitor this area because it's, I think, the first time that we've monitored and spent time with their breeding pair. But very interesting to spend time and to see the little stages. So they can breed throughout the year, really. They definitely have a peak in June to November. Wonder, is this the lady or the gentleman? Whoever it is really preparing himself for a night on the town.
This little pile of leaves and twigs here has got to be one of the nicest examples of a tree rat's nest that I've ever seen on Swalu. This is called a black-tailed tree rat, and they're not uncommon here, but very, very typically they normally stash their nesting material inside the holes, like hollow trees like this one, and you get little bits sticking out. But the sheer volume that I'm seeing over here, that's actually, coming down, dropping down, and flowing out of it is pretty remarkable. And like I said, I've never seen one of this extent on Swalu before, ever. And I'll show you an example of their droppings here quickly as well. Let me get some for you. And remember, kids, ask your parents for pet rats for Christmas. I'm just kidding. I'm not condoning buying pets for Christmas. I'm just going to show you. So these are the... Where am I? Get myself out of here. There we go. Okay, minus those. There's the tree rat droppings. How cool is that? And like I say, I mean, in all my time here, that's the first time I've seen a nest of that size. Like I said, they are a common species, but certainly not making nests of that extent. And it just shows you, it doesn't matter where you go, there's always something new to see, always something new to find in the outdoors. And then over here, this is all the mistletoe, all these broadleaf things growing on the acacias. Our acacias are going to be flowering soon. There are millions of buds all over the place. So things are looking up with these warmer temperatures coming in. There's another species here, unfortunately, maybe late in the year we may see it, but we won't see it now, and our mics won't pick up the sound. We've got a beautiful little species here called the Barking Gecko. These tiny little things that live down underground in holes, and there was actually one starting to call now, which for this time of the year is very, very unusual. We even heard them 2 weeks ago, but they normally call in summer just with the onset of the rains, and you can get hundreds of thousands of them all calling at the same time. They go... They make it sound like it, but gazillions of the things. And so one's calling now, so I wonder if it's not some like change in the weather, or anyway, we can check the long-term forecast and see what's going to be happening. But anyway, that's just interesting. And this little bush clump over here, you got mistletoes and tree rats, and what's this tree over here? Shepherd's tree over here. You got honey thorns. Toad has asked, how old is the oldest tree standing in Swalu? I don't have an answer for you. In fact, we've got a really, really interesting researcher that we're actually kind of courting at the moment to come and do some research specifically on aging trees. But on that, quickly, I'll be very, very brief about it. If you look at a tree like this, one can say, oh, that tree must be quite old compared to a smaller one. But it's often not the case. It's often just the other way around in terms of relative ages. Because remember, when a tree is small, it's got a tiny root system. Its photosynthesizing surface area is very, very small. So it grows much more slowly compared to a tree that size, where you've got a massive root system, very, very deep to good water sources, got a nice canopy for photosynthesizing, so you can grow that much more that much faster. So often we fall into this trap of just looking at a really big tree and thinking, oh, that thing must be incredibly ancient. But relative to their size, often it's these smaller, gnarly old things that are like still trying to get up and do their thing that are the really old ones relative to what they've seen. But it's all so cool, man, and there's just so much stuff to see out here. And like I said, this beautiful little plant over here is called a honey thorn. This is called the honey thorn, incredibly scented flowers. And as you can imagine, they smell like honey. Well done for those who got it right.
Welcome back, guys. As you can see on the screen, away from a distance, you can see small movement over there. This is one of their bulls, he just lost the fight. That one was on the left hand side, quite a big one. And the small one, and Craig is going to try to zoom him closer so you can get to see him. He's slowly around the place where they were fighting, and then he actually win the fight. That's when I thought he's defending his territory. He's still hanging around, and you can see that like feeding, scent marking. Watch, you see that spray comes out there, and that of a sign of scent marking on his area. This is definitely his territory. He doesn't want to move because he actually defending his territory. That's why he's still hanging around. He just let the other bulls move away from that his territory. Actually, he's happy now. Yes, obviously he'll be very tired by now, but he did well to defend. So that is beautiful land anyway, and you can see the nice grazing place, and then he will have quite a few number of female around his territory. That's why he doesn't want to leave that place, and he'll fight to die for that place, because he knows if he loses that, and he will miss out a lot. That other bull, it looks like he's coming back again. Craig, right on top of there, it's totally different from if you ever smell for the like a cat smell. It's more like sweet, but not quite. But it's different from the cat smell. So that's what the different is. We can pick it up easily. Black and white spray is totally different. For the black Rhino is very, very strong smell. For the white Rhino is very, very light smell. As you can see again, that one he was losing. He was coming back. Now he's going back again. I think he realized that other bull hasn't left his territory yet. Now he's going back again over this valley. Look, his back. He's got like 2 slop on his back. Is what you can see. That is a white Rhino. Yeah, you can see that one is just disappearing quite quickly. Well, we'll sit here and see what's going to happen with the other one. Okay, good.
It's a pearl-spotted owlet. A little gift for us there. This is quite cool. You just came from Cedric's parents down in the Milwaukee with Steve not too long ago. Oh, how cool was that? The testicle is going crazy here. Can you hear them? Obviously, you will realize that we are no longer at the den. And that is because Tima walked off just as you left me. So good timing. You can still hear the owlet squawking in the background. I was hoping it would call for us. I'm glad that I got to show you the pearl-spotted owlet, at least. So often they escape us. Sometimes these testicular, they will alarm at anything that they feel is that they don't like. I'm just wondering if they've seen a snake, because they're all looking down, not up at the owlet. Doesn't look like anything. All right, let's keep on going. You see it? Theo has spotted the owlet again. You tell me if you need me to move. Oh, I saw that. But I saw where it flew to, so let's try that. They're very, very sensitive to vehicles. I mean, like most birds, you can't get very close. But with owlets, they seem to be even more sensitive. All right, let's just stop here and have a good look. You can imagine they're very difficult to spot. Oh, because they're pearl spotted. Yes, I'm losing it a little bit. At least Kirst laughed. But no, I cannot see it. Oh, it's eerily quiet. I'd love if the silence just broke with pa 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 pa, which would be great. Okay, well, we're going to keep on going. Hopefully we'll find some other cute thing.
Thanks, Trish. Well, we found something that's also a bit hard to see. You can just see the top of the horns there. I wonder if anyone can tell me what animal this is. Quickly send through your answers to #WildEarth. What animal? It's actually quite confusing. Kirsty in FC says it's a platypus. Kirsty, very close. I mean, we're very, very close to being a platypus. Maybe he'll reveal himself a bit more. Oh, there he goes. Oh, Zephyr reckoned a Nyala. Okay, well, Zephyr, do you want to rethink your answer after seeing a second image? Okay, the problem is that if I reposition now around this termite mound, I'm not going to be able to see him. Lindsay, that was the thing, is that it actually had an impala feel to it, and that's why I thought I'd throw the quiz out there quickly, and it's not an impala. It was beautiful in front of this termite mound just a moment before. Sophie, well done. You got a kudu. There's indeed a kudu. Let me try and reposition us slightly, BK, shall I? Problem is we've got our sides down because of the rain. So let me just go forward here quickly and turn the car so that you'll be able to see him. He's a splendid fellow. Not fully mature, but splendid nonetheless. How's that, Biggs? Sapperman said it was a German shepherd with curly horns. Well, Sapperman, I like your creativity and your answer there. Okay, so for those of you out there who only got a glimpse of the tips of the horns, now we can see a little bit more of the body. Different perspectives, isn't it? It's quite wonderful how you can actually put out a piece of something out there, and obviously some things in nature are so obvious to identify, aren't they? But if you just put something down, how often is it that people can answer truly what is the entirety of it? What is the entirety of it? It's all about perspective. And if you're blindfolded, and for example, we put an elephant in front of you, put 5 gentlemen with blindfolds across the elephant. One has got the trunk. He would have a very different answer to one that had hold of the leg or the tail, or one who just had hold of the skin. So perspectives are amazing, and this kudu is enjoying the moisture on the leaves as he munches away. Sorry we can't get you a better view than this. It is what it is. The rain, we keep thinking, is disappearing. And then just as we think it disappears, it starts again. So we've got our covers down still. Ooh, look at that tongue. Okay, well, we'll try and get another view of this kudu, but it looks like he's going to do exactly what kudus do best.
Well done, Steve, for seeing a kudu, because in the Masai Mara Game Reserve, apparently, we do not have kudus. Now, just look at that setting there, and maybe in one word you can tell me, what do you think of that setting? I mean, it's just out of this world. You can always tweet, #WildEarth, because we've got a rainbow there. We've got my favorite mammal, the elephant, and we can hear the wind and how they are putting the grass. Let's just have a listen. Notice they are putting the grass on the side of the road, which happens to be slightly bit greener than the other grass. Because when it rains and the water flows on the side of the road, then when it holds there, it's always good moisture for that particular area, and the grass there will definitely be greener. Now, this one particular elephant, I have known her for a long time, and if you look at her carefully, she's got a stump of a tail. And I was talking to Bungay earlier, and Bungay is the gentleman on the camera today, and I was saying it's high time we give this particular herd a name, because we have that one female there that's got a stump of a tail, and then there's always another female that have like a squint of tusks or crooked tusks, which is on your screen now. Maybe I might request we all come up with a name. Now look at her tusk carefully, and you'll notice one goes the other way and the other one goes backwards, down and backwards. So they're always in the same herd, and this herd is always about 20, that of them. And very close to the camp we live on, every from 1 o'clock in the morning to about 5, we got elephants trumpeting and making noise, and we're trying to think or suspect that this could be the herd. Look at that magical setting. Tanda, I would like to name the Tailless Troop. That sounds like a good name. The Tailless Troop. Let's have more names coming in, and we'll definitely settle on a particular one. But Tailless Troop sounds pretty good for me. I'm happy with that, because I have known her, and she's very strong. Not sure she is the matriarch in this group. I wouldn't know that for a fact. But she's always very active. She does everything other females will do. And it's a group that you can follow. You've seen many people come into Africa and researching other animals, cheetahs and, cats. But this particular herd, personally, if I would do some research, I would want to follow it. This one is having a wee in the middle of the road there. Just stopped. I like cat that marked territory is elephant. I think will not be doing that. Chevy, the Outlanders, that sounds like... I also like that name, Chevy. And sorry, I had to keep quiet because of that trumpeting. Look at that particular male there. He is... You just notice how soft they are when they walk on the ground. This is massive. I can't believe they came pretty close to us. Jumbo, and you're saying we should name them perfect. And then I translate the same for you in Swahili. Perfect, I'm trying to look for the best word for perfect. And Kathy, for now, I'm going to give you mzuri. Like when we say mzuri, means good, okay, perfect. So I ask you, Kathy, how are you doing? If you tell me mzuri, another translation for mzuri or perfect would mean mzuri. Kathy, I'd want us to settle with that group. I don't know what the other friends will, the other viewers will think, but mzuri to me seems appropriate. And Bungei is just showing me, nodding his head like he would be happy with mzuri being a local word. Kathy, for now, tentatively, let's assume we are calling this herd the Mzuri herd. Huge group, and you can see in the background there, you can see clouds are building up, and there's a little bit of wall of rain way out there, and we get a bit of speed where we are. Now, these elephants look quite... I hope you heard that. They look quite dark, and the tusks look, quite clean, quite white. It's because of the rains we have been getting the last few days here in the Masai Mara. Right, let's all agree Mzuri is the name for this particular herd, and every time we see it, all right, David, that's our herd, Mzuri herd. Good, done, close it. Thank you very much, everyone, for playing that, and all of us agreeing on one particular name. I'll be saying in return, Asante Sana for participating. Right, getting a bit of speed here. It is such a beautiful sighting, and now we're just enjoying a few drops coming on the canvas of our jeep, and the elephants, that does not even bother them. They still keep eating. What a beautiful setting there. You can hear some thunderstorms in the background. And what is interesting, these elephants will not even stop from eating. They'll just keep eating, but you can just hear the thunderstorms and some bit of drops just falling. There is a huge male out there. Look at the size of that one. As much as it's, dropping, or the rain might even get heavier shortly, these elephants will not mind. They'll still keep eating, and the rains do not seem to affect them very much. What a lovely sighting. Most of the grass here is the red oat grass that you see. Being bulk eaters, elephants, they'll eat as much as they can in a day, and you know how poor the digestive system is. Thunderstorms, lightnings from a distance. We just want to show you a huge wall of rain to the right, and you're going to see where it's coming from. So that is the western horizon, where I would be expecting to see some sunset. Dylan, elephants getting stuck by lightning, anything would happen. They're made of flesh, and blood. I mean, just like human beings. I have never personally seen an elephant that has been struck by lightning. I've seen a steinbok hit by lightning, and I think that was in South Africa way back. And I'm trying to remember, personally I have not, I'm trying to remember even hearing a story of an elephant that was hit by lightning. I highly doubt. Either they're very intelligent, they know how to go around these natural happenings, and I cannot tell of any occurrence or story I had where an elephant was hit by lightning, or an elephant that was found dead and nobody could explain what could have brought it down. Well, I just want to go away a little bit, away from the wall of rain behind us, and go to a safer area with no rain.
Wild Earth relies on support from viewers like you to carry on broadcasting our daily live shows. A small donation goes a long way in helping us on our mission to connect the world with nature. Please visit our support page to see how you can help and become part of the Wild Earth family.
Escape the rain, David. I managed to escape it only because the rain stopped. But I'm a little bit warmer. And these lovely zebra are taking advantage of the fact that there was some nice rainfall. That means that as they eat, they're not just getting a little bit of nutrients from the grass, because it's not too nutrient rich at the moment, but they're also getting a bit of a drink, you can say. Little bits of moisture from the droplets that have landed on the grass. I'm sure that must make it just a little bit more bearable. Speaking of animals being struck by lightning, I have heard, or rather I read a book in which the author wrote that he had heard of elephants being struck, including as well as rhino and giraffe, and being struck directly, which seems very strange, but this author is credible. It is horrible. Even lightning strikes that hit the ground, if animals are really close, within 100-meter radius, have also been killed by lightning. Which I think is definitely quite horrible. Often that means that their eardrums burst, which, I mean, is understandable considering the charge that's in lightning. And the lightning actually tends to travel across the surface of water, so if animals are swimming in it, they can also basically die. I was going to say that they can get hurt, but no. Lightning tends not to hurt, but to kill. Thankfully, there's no lightning in Djuma today, just some casual rainfall. It feels very nice. It's brought out a lot of smells. HB, if elephants had rubber boots, they would survive. Certainly, they would survive. But I don't believe that any company has produced rubber boots for that size foot just yet. Let me just reposition slightly. Yes, that will be... I will sell it to reserves. Boots for all your animals, so that none die from lightning strikes. We have to be innovative at this time. And look at that. HB and I would have to go into business. The smell of the elephant dung that has been lying around has come up quite strongly, as well as the leopard scent marks, or the urine that can also be smelled quite strongly as you pass their bushes, because the rain momentarily almost gives them a bit more life and then it washes away. HB, you say that the factory is ready to go. We're going to start production ASAP. Do it. You start production. I'll take measurements of the feet. We can work out average sizes. Considering that rhino and elephant seem to be ones that get struck, apparently, and giraffe, we'll have to start with those. It smells so springy, if you know what I mean. Quite fragrant. I like it. I like it. Let there be light. You know what I also like? Leopard rosettes. Could there be a last-minute leopard on the cards for this soggy day in Djuma? Couldn't they always? So I'm going to keep an eye out.
Well, thanks, Trish. That's what we've been doing. We've been working the area where there were tracks this morning. We obviously tried to see if we could figure out where Tandy's gotten to, and she hasn't come back over into Djuma from Torchwood, so that is one thing we know. And now there were tracks of a female on this side of the property this morning that the guys are also trying to work, and they weren't able to find her. So we're hoping for a last-minute leopard, and this would be most likely Shadulu. Shadulu, she likes me. She likes to come out at this sort of time and be like, hello guys, I'm here. Trisha's comment, it smells like spring. It does smell like spring, although it's cold. So if it doesn't warm up this evening, it could be quite a nasty evening for some animals. A little bit early, the rain, but the vegetation's going to respond to it. I will have to check how many mils we had. It's not going to be substantial. It's just enough to wet everything, but very good for the grass layer, very good for the areas that were burned. Kruger National Park and Manuleti did lots of burning this year. Those areas will respond very quickly to this kind of event. And that is a very good sign for our herbivorous animals. It means that food is on the way. Still looking okay food-wise. If we go back to last year this time, it was desolate. I mean, all these trees around me have still got leaves on them, all the bush willows. Last year there was not a blade of grass or a leaf on any of these trees here. And this part of the Greater Kruger is actually known as a winter grazing ground, where the animals come late in the year to come and feed, and it was all gone. Everyone's holding thumbs for Shadulu. Well, thanks everybody. If I can't hold my thumb, it's too hard to hold it and the wheel at the same time. So hold them for me, and the spotlight. It's impossible. Have you tried that? Holding a thumb and a spotlight is impossible. Deanna, I haven't heard anything about Kuchava. I don't even know when last she was seen. I haven't seen Kuchava in a very long time. Last time I saw her was behind when Taylor McCurdy still worked here. So, still worked in Djuma. So that's the last time I saw Kuchava. So I don't know when last she was seen. I know that when James was chatting to me, he mentioned she hasn't been seen. Yeah, she's definitely been seen more recently by someone else, but not by me. Not by me. BK, have you seen Kuchava? No? Trishada saw her when? On Friday. On Friday, okay. So she was seen recently. Okay, so we're coming up to my favorite little lion junction, where they were very well hidden in the long grass. Just about over here. Those of you who've seen that video, it was a very funny one. A very funny one. Okay, we're going to drive straight past it. This is a junction I love to check because it's a thoroughfare. Lots of animals come through. We're sort of at a junction between the west, the south, and the north. And lots of animals come down this way. Come from Marathusa, Simbili, from the north. All heading down in a sort of natural flow. This big torchwood tree up ahead is the one that Brent nearly fell out of. Or he did fall out of. Okay, we're going to carry on bumbling down the road with our spotlight out, so hopefully we can find some spots.
So we are scanning for aardvark or any other little critters in this area. What we're seeing every now and again is these little flurries of bird activity, and we may or may not see them, through the lens. But from where I'm standing with binoculars, there's little patches of birds coming up, and we've seen birds following things like aardvark. But what's actually going on here? They're actually just foraging on the ground for termites now. So even if there was not an aardvark in sight, these birds are actively hunting termites, and there's a number of different species. There's Cape glossy starlings, there's yellow-billed hornbill out there, there's white-browed sparrow weavers, there's wattle starlings. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, but it just shows how important grasslands are in helping, maintaining the ecology of these systems. If you take your grasslands or your grasslands get denuded, there's less termites, there's less birds, there's less pangolins, aardvark, aardwolf, which we still haven't seen, by the way. We still need to find you one. But yeah, so these grasslands are very, very important, and the key thing in this particular area is the fact that there's a high density of lions here, and that is what's maintaining these grasslands, or at least playing an important role in maintaining these big grassland areas that we're seeing over here. You never forget the role of apex predators cannot be underestimated in an ecosystem. Whether it's a killer whale or a great white shark or a lion or whatever it is. But what a stunning view. I mean, the scenery. You got it wide there, David? Good man. As you go. It's so beautiful. Eh? Another tough day in the Kalahari. Artist in LA, I think the question was, is the Kalahari part of the Highveld? It's actually not regarded as a Highveld, but you're obviously referring to these beautiful high altitude grasslands that we get in the central parts of South Africa. The altitude there is in terms of average, you're looking at about 1,700 meters, 1,800 meters above sea level. We're sitting at an average height of about 1,200 meters. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes a huge difference. And the other key factor with those grasslands is that they're a lot further east in the country, which means they get a higher rainfall, which we're not getting. And when referring it back to apex predators, yes, they are critical, but that is, I don't want to oversimplify it too much. You're looking at things like intense frost in these areas, presence or absence of fire, and presence or absence of grazing animals. The problem is you get to your apex predators are the ones that are actually moving animals. So animals can't wake up and eat all the chocolate. They've got to move, they've got to eat the chocolate, they've got to eat the meat, they've got to eat the peas, they've got to eat the beans before they can get the dessert. And that's what happens in an area where you don't have apex predators. The animals get up, they kick their heels around, and they eat all your good grass, and they will flatten it in no time. So it's not so much about animal numbers when you're managing reserves, it's about animal behavior. What are those animals doing from morning till night when they're feeding, as opposed to, you've got lots of animals, therefore it's bad. You can have a few animals and it can be as bad. Anyway, that's crash course, 3-minute crash course on some Kalahari ecology. But I'm scanning with binoculars now. I've got wildebeest out there. I have oryx or gemsbuck, same thing. Starlings, weavers. Oh, we got a hartebeest. Yeah, a couple of hartebeest down there. Well done. But I'm hoping to see that round back that resembles a mobile termite mound. Because if you get one of those, then it's an aardvark. So there's a question. You don't see termite mounds out here. If you look at this landscape, where's all the termite mounds? These little guys, they're full up here, but they're all subterranean. So they're sitting under the ground. So you don't like those gorgeous, massive termite mounds that you get where some of our colleagues are working. That is not a feature of this landscape. You'll have to go quite far north, up towards the Okavango Delta in Botswana, and or further east from us to start getting those termite mounds. They are prevalent here in the hills. So you'll get lots of termite mounds along the hills. We'll show you those sometimes. But these grassland areas typically don't have above-ground termite mounds. And that's probably as a result of predation by aardvark, but also fire and frost sweeping through these areas. Frost is not that much of a factor on the hills, and neither are aardvark and pangolin. I think we're just going to keep moving down here and get a slightly different angle on this landscape. And perhaps we can find that elusive thing called an aardwolf.
Wow. Dylan, I hope you find that aardwolf. I am looking for a scrub hare. Instead, I have a steenbok. Steenbokkie. This, by the way, is Theo's favorite animal, everyone. Yes, you heard correctly. His favorite animal. He said to me today, when I was very cold and wet, I wish I could shelter all the steenboks from this weather. As opposed to, I wish I had an extra jacket for you, Trish, or a rain jacket, or an umbrella. But then he did say that too. But steenbok was number one priority. Yes, we're still here. Butterfly, you'd like to know why are they always alone? They are solitary, but you will see them associate with a partner, especially if they're breeding and if they have a youngster. Just in the early days, you will see them associating. But, well, off it goes. But they are solitary, so they're not herd animals. Can you hear this? That is the sound of spring. And that was the steenbok again, running ahead of us. And it's gone, just like that. What else can we find here? I like to look at the tops of trees at this time in case there's some owls. I quite like the darkness, as well as the daylight, and as well when it's dry and when it rains. I like it all. But since we haven't had rainy darkness in a while, I'm feeling particularly fond. Sindara, you'd like to know, what about a last-minute chameleon, Trish? That would be great, wouldn't it? Although I think that apart from it being cold, but we know that that doesn't mean that they just go away because we've seen them in the cold. Apart from being cold, it is wet. So they're going to be tucked into the branches quite closely. But let's try anyway. This is a good candidate, this tree here. Let's have a look here. Speaking of animals of the night, or that we get to see in the night. Last night, I was sitting outside of my room, and the inside light was on, but the outside light was not. So the only light that I had was that was coming from the inside outward. And a great big old civet walked right by me. I was totally quiet, did not even notice me one bit, walked within about 2 meters of my stoop, right past, and carried along with its business. I was very excited. Very, very excited. It was so nice, and also it was such a pleasant sighting. It made me feel like, wow, these things are so fleeting, and the two parties in the sighting can be absolutely quiet. There could be nothing, but you get to see this amazing sight that most people won't see in their lives. Look at it. It is gloomy, it is dark, and you have my rain roof. And it's come to that time. So thank you, everybody. It has been soggy, but it's been good. And I'm so glad to have spent it with you. So thank you for your questions and your comments, and of course, watching. And until next time, have an awesome day or night further. See you later.
And may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
These wildebeest have heard some hyena in the background and have scurried off. I think it promises to be a morning full of action. So grab a seat and jump on board for CGTN's digital safari.